Justin, and I hope you're enjoying my dad's videos. Make sure to share this video with family and friends, like and subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you get notified for all my dad's new videos. My social media will be tagged down below so you can follow it, and just remember, Jesus loves you.
Hi guys, just to let you know, we've got a brand new website, drcharlieward.com, where all our videos will be loaded over the next few weeks, and you'll be able to view all of those there's no charge for watching any of those. We've moved them all onto our own platform because all the doctor ones, which are very, very important, have been taken down, so we've now got control over those, but every single video we post will be free to watch. That's very important for you to know. The other thing is we're getting an awful lot of people asking us about gold and silver. And I've always been an advocate of gold and silver. And myself, I'm not in a position to give financial advice. I'm not qualified to do so. I'm just going to tell you what I've personally done. I've personally bought gold and silver, and I've used a company that I trust, which is shown below here. They've always looked after me well. And if you order from them more than £250 worth, you get a free 1 ounce silver coin, which is very, very nice. It's a nice little gift. But this is not an endorsement. This is just what I have done personally, and it's up to you. It's your choice. As I said, I'm not qualified to give the advice on financial advice, but it's just what I have done personally. And I hope you enjoy it. And I hope you enjoy watching all of my videos. Thank you. So how is life treating you?
It's doing okay, hanging.
We're nearly there.
We're nearly there.
We are so nearly there.
Can I tell you, I love your red wall.
Thank you.
I had 2 red walls in my chiropractic office. It's very good feng shui. It's like brings in good energy. I love it. It looks amazing.
Well, my sound and light guy, Dave Vickers, came in today to help get the light right, because the light was all wrong and I had no idea. He knows exactly what he's doing. So he managed to sort it all out for me. Thank you.
Yeah, it looks very nice.
It's very cozy in here. I enjoy it. And it's an exciting journey that we're on for those people that are aware and awake.
Yes, it is. Any updates on your end today?
Yeah, we're so close to the transition from the old system to the new. The systems are all loaded, the codes are all in. It now comes down to God, really, as to when he wants to flick the switch.
Yep, I agree.
He's in control of that right now. And when people say to me, when's it going to happen? I say, well, if you get on your knees and ask him, I'm sure he'll tell you.
That's right. Wait for the answer.
He's the only person who knows right now. And we're just sitting back, relaxed and enjoying knowing that everything is done on our side to make sure that it works, and looking forward to entering a world of Jasara, a world of enlightenment, awakening, and abundance, and moving out of a world of enslavement and suffering and oppression. So yeah, it's really exciting.
You know, I felt something shift March 1st. And I don't even live in a place that's really seasonal, because I'm in Miami Beach. It's warm all the time, but something shifted. You know, there was like January and February where it felt like a lower energy. This month felt very high. So I think we're very close.
We're extremely close. And there's from the literal side, they've told me they're just sitting waiting for the phone call. That's all they're waiting for right now. From the spiritual side, they're telling me that the vibrations are lifting to a level that means that something is about to happen. So everything is connecting. And from my perspective, I'm just sat back calm, enjoying it. Very, very relaxed, because I know the destination. I just didn't know the journey. And I still don't know the journey, because there's things that are still to happen that haven't happened yet. That the question is, when will they happen? How will they happen? How will they roll out? But I went through with my Insiders Club yesterday the blueprint for the quantum financial system. And when you consider that it works on energy levels, light levels, sound levels, vibrations, rather than
zeros and ones in the old biometric systems. It's a very, very unique system run from the skies, from the heavens, rather than underground.
It's a whole new way of life. I watched I was in on that meeting. It was awesome.
It's very, very, very exciting. And there's so much I want to tell people, but they're just telling me, just keep calm right now, because we're in a very, very delicate moment. Without a shadow of a doubt, the war is won, but there are people that are trying to cause trouble, and they need to be managed in the correct manner.
So I was thinking about a couple of things that happened to me in my life that are great examples of what we can do on our end to raise the vibration. Because, I think we can't just wait. I mean, I know things are happening, but it's also time for us to be responsible for ourselves. But before I share that, I just have to tell you, I read your book.
Wow.
And I loved it. It was such a great read. I highly recommend it.
Thank
and can I tell you the one story that really touched me, this moved me a lot, was when you picked up a hitchhiker, Max.
Yeah, Max. Yeah, bless him.
And he was just down on his luck and he was out of work. And you listened to his story and you took him in.
Yeah.
And you gave him a job.
Yeah.
You helped him get clothes and ready for work.
Yeah.
And now he owns his own business and has a family. And I just think that is like the ultimate story of humanity. We all need to help each other up, but also the other person needs to do their work to get their life in order. So that's just like the best story.
Yeah, and I was thinking about it the other day. I was 22 years old then.
Wow.
I was just a young man. I was heading off to work in my van. And there he was by the roadside, and just picked him up. And when somebody's dirty on the outside, but he was clean on the inside, his spirit was clean. And he was just kind and he was caring, but things had just gone wrong for him. And you just sort of felt that. And it's one of the most proud moments in my life, that to get somebody on the first rung of the ladder, and for them to then climb the ladder, get married, have children, have a business, and be successful. And that's from where he was. He just needed a little bit of help, not a lot. He needed a lot of time and love, bless him, because he was a lost soul. But that doesn't, time and love comes from within, and if you've got it and you share it, the rewards are phenomenal.
See, that's just moving from your heart. You've always moved from your heart, Charlie. That's amazing.
Yeah. There was something that happened, I think 2 days ago. There was a man that was homeless outside the supermarket, and I just had a little chat with him. I gave him some money, gave him some food, but he just wanted a hug. And I gave him a hug. He's a man to a man. I gave him a hug, and the people that were wearing the masks, they'd look at him as a scruffy, dirty man. And
of course,
I wasn't in the least bit worried about getting a bit dirty. That doesn't bother me. And it just did him the power of good. And they all are distancing. And he just wanted a hug, and I shook his hand. His hands were dirty, and that helps to build my immune system.
Absolutely. That's exactly right. Let's stop being afraid of each other and stop being afraid of germs. We have germs everywhere. It's what builds our immune system, keeps us healthy.
Exactly. And when you wear a mask, it stops that immediately. It creates problems, respiratory problems, because you're recycling your own air, which is not good. Social distancing is really bad for you, because you need an immune system. You need an immune system. And, in Holland, they kiss you on the cheek 3 times. In Spain, 2 or 3 times, depending on how well they know you. And there is, they've tried to divide us. They've tried to separate us. They've tried everything they possibly can. And we've got to get these people out of the frame of mind that, well, it's easier to do it because I can't be bothered with the fight. I'm willing for the fight. I'm looking for the fight. I'm going after a fight, to stand up for what's right. Because if you don't, they'll continue to abuse people, and they get turned on by it. It gives them a feeling of power, and they're sitting back and laughing at people for doing what they're doing. 2 masks, 3 masks. I mean, wakey.
Yeah, it's horrendous.
It is.
So I feel like I had a story that happened to me personally that really shows a lot of dimensions of what's going on. And I can apply this to a lot of things. So I have a friend, and I want to try to keep her privacy. So I'm going to talk about the story a little bit. But she went on a trip with her partner, and I felt like she was pretty awake, right, to what's going on today. But she came back from the trip, wasn't feeling so good. Of course, what do? They both go get tested for COVID. And my first thing is, why? Stop it. Stop running to go get that test. The test is dangerous. It's not accurate. It's a big psyop.
Yep.
And next thing I know, they're tested positive. She, I guess, was having lung problems.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of things that happen. She's had a lot of loss in the last 3 years in her life.
Okay.
Lungs represent grief on the emotional scale.
Yeah.
That nobody's addressing that issue. The partner is terrified that she doesn't feel good. So right away, and we see this with family members. Oh, you got to go to the doctor. You got to go to the hospital, because they're uncomfortable with just letting you be uncomfortable and heal. So right away, we go to the emergency room. And then when I saw what was happening to my friend, I just hope she's okay. They're already suppressing the fever for the infection. I'm like, that's the last thing you want to do, is suppress the fever. You want the fever to run its course, because that's how it gets rid of the infection. So this is how backwards the medical world is. They're suppressing the fever. And then I hear she's on a ventilator, which, if we know in the beginning, that's what was killing people.
Yes.
But here's the thing. I can connect all these dots. Not one, the story will be of how COVID affected her instead of what's the real story. And this is the propaganda. And I have seen this as a chiropractor and my own healing journey for the last 25 years. You could put any other label besides COVID in: cancer, Lyme, autoimmune. I don't care. It all works the same. It's just dis-ease in your body. And if we have to learn to be responsible for the lack of flow, it's energy flow. You're either flowing towards health because your body's always making itself new, or it's blocked up. It could just be purging itself, cleaning itself out, right? Or, we can't compartmentalize our life. If you're stressed out emotionally, bad relationships, job, all these things in your lifestyle, they come out physically. So I think, the third leading cause of death is medical intervention, medical mess ups.
Yeah.
But nobody talks about that. Even the vaccine thing, I gotta be honest, from what I know, and I always thought I don't always speak up before this year, because I knew it's a personal journey. People have to get there on their own. But when I seen this weaponized this year, I don't think it's normal to have babies in a hospital. I think they should be born at home. Do you know how much damage happens to poor babies, and they're drugged up right away? If we understood health, we wouldn't even be having a conversation about vaccines. They'd be gone. Yeah. Like, it wouldn't even be a question. Like, that's such a big topic today. And so many of us are fighting against it. But I'm like, if we really got to the truth, they would be gone. And so I think we need to relearn how we speak about health, sickness. We need to honor the body's process of just getting rid of stuff. That's part of health. Symptoms are part of health. So that's a lot of work, and that will change the vibration. But, I watch over the years, people are just running to the doctor for everything. We have to stop that, because you're not going to find help there. All they know are drugs and surgery, and a lot of times they make you worse, but they don't talk about it when they mess up. So we're not getting the full story. So I just think that's really, important to get that change of thought. That's something we all have to work on.
It is. I've had 2 or 3 cases of people phoning me today and yesterday, where they've been to the doctors and they've had the vaccination. They say, "Oh, I feel fine," and I said, "Just so can I ask you a question? Now you've had the vaccination, I assume you can take your mask off now, and you don't need to social distance." "Oh no, you've still got to do that, and then you can travel." No, I can't travel yet. So what's the benefit of having the vaccine?" "Well, it protects me." I said, "Protects you from what exactly?" "Oh, I don't know." And then suddenly you start poking, then they get all aggressive with you. We've had a situation whereby a doctor went into an old people's home to vaccinate everybody in the old people's home. And 7 of them died within a week. But they've put them all down as COVID-19 victims because that avoids doing an autopsy or a post-mortem.
See, the truth never comes out. The full story doesn't come out. They propagate what they want for fear control.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to get control of.
Yeah. And the doctors have also, I've spoken to hundreds of doctors who've been threatened with being struck off if they go outside of the narrative.
Yes, a lot of them are being threatened with their narrative. Yep, that's exactly right.
You stick to the script or you're struck off.
That's right.
And the trouble is with being a doctor, as you know, it's not a job, it's a calling.
Yeah.
And
and that's, that's what happened when we had this lockdown a year ago. I knew it was wrong from the beginning because I, like I said, I've sat and watched on the sidelines. People do what they consider health in the mainstream. I've disagreed for a long time. Yeah. And I just wanted to get out with a big microphone and say, this is a lie. Stop it. This isn't how health works. So I have, I wrote my book that I feel like is my journey to grace. And I just feel it's just my story of healing. I feel like we need more stories of how people healed and overcame the medical stuff. I mean, they did a lot of damage to me, but I overcame it. So it's just a story of hope and healing and my journey and how sources that you can use to get your power back. Yep. And I have it on I have a YouTube channel, not that I've promoted the YouTube channel. It's Dr. Lynn Carey .54, but I have shared my own story of healing on the videos, and they've helped some people lately. I've noticed people are going through, and it's just ideas to change the thought process, change the wording. Yeah. And my book information's on there too. So that's one thing that we can do to, that's my contribution to try to help change things.
We'll put the link down below so people can find out where the book is for you, because that's very, very important that we know how to heal ourselves. And don't underestimate our bodies. We so easily underestimate how brilliant they actually are if looked after properly. We have an immune system that is off the scale by comparison to what we're being offered. And if we look after our immune system, it will do a job 10 times better than any vaccine or medication will ever do.
100%. And it's about getting in tune with that. And it's not a straight road to health. It's not just like, there's nothing that's a quick fix, and not everything works for everybody in the same way. We're all unique. So it's about honoring your process and getting in tune with what you need. And I think that's the key.
And so, everybody's different.
Yes, they are. And we all have different dynamics going on in our lives, different experiences, and that contributes to your well-being.
And there's different things that react in different ways. I can have a triple espresso at night and go to bed and go straight to sleep.
So can I, Charlie. Coffee doesn't affect me at all. I love it.
I do too. It doesn't affect me. People say, I don't know how you do that. It's just my makeup, I think. Yeah. And I think because I've abused my body so much in the past, my immune system is absolutely bulletproof nowadays. So
I feel the same.
A little virus comes along and then, you know, within a day or two, it's gone. Just simple things of hot water, lemon and honey, ginger.
And sleep.
Yeah, and sleep, good sleep, hot baths.
Yeah.
My mum had 5 children in 5 years, and if we were ill, we had a big bath. She'd stick us all in there, and sweat it, wrap us up in towels, put us in bed, put the heating on, and sweat it out. Come on, get it out of your body.
Right. That's what we need to get back to.
And a lot of people forget the fact that when you've got a temperature, it's your body revving up to fight whatever the sickness is. That's what it's natural that your body gets the temperature. If you overheat, just rest, just relax, just calm down. Don't be out there working. Just let your body do the work. And suppressing your body doing the work is not a good thing.
The fever is the best thing for your body. It's better to let it run its course. It burns off everything you don't need, and then it comes back down.
It does.
When you try to suppress it with the pill, you're just prolonging the process. And now your body not only has to get rid of the junk it was already trying to get rid of, but now it has to get rid of the pill too.
Yeah, that's right. And you were absolutely right what you said earlier about just resting. My mother used to hot bath, wrap up in towels, put us in hot bedroom, sweat it out, because I can't have you with 5 kids in 5 years. I can't have you off school. You got to be in school tomorrow, you know, and
That's right.
you'd sweat like crazy and it would be gone in the morning.
We live such busy, crazy lives that it's sometimes people don't rest until they get sick. That's the only thing that stops them. They don't rest.
Yeah.
And even if you are diagnosed with some kind of label or a scary disease that you think, I say, look at it as an opportunity. It's your opportunity to become the most empowered ever in your life.
Sure.
Don't be afraid of it. Jump in and find out what's going on, and you will be so free if you just do that kind of work, the emotional work, everything. So. And
also fear causes a lot of damage to your body.
Absolutely.
Once you learn how to deal with situations, you'll be a lot healthier. But if you live in fear, you will automatically become ill just because of fear.
Fear keeps you sick.
It does. It keeps you physically sick and mentally sick.
Oh, absolutely. And the fear mongering that's going on right now. So I saw an article here I'm in liberal hell of Miami Beach. This town's in a coma, right?
Yeah.
South Beach, we haven't had any networking events. This town was full of events, right? It's always happening. So there's still nothing going on. Even though like restaurants are open and things like that, but everybody's masked up. You know, you can't, I mean, it's crazy. So they have advertised they're having the South Beach Food Festival, but they want proof of a negative PCR test or proof of vaccination. I was horrified when I saw that. So I wrote the governor, I called the governor. I call him kind of regularly, even though I know he's a constitutionalist, he's a good guy, but our mayor here is the worst. We have to get rid of this mayor.
Yeah.
And I also emailed the guy, the head who runs the festival. Just, you know, I'm going to speak up, just whatever little bit. I'm just going to start being like a yapping dog. I'm going to start, you know, put my 2 cents in.
Good.
And I took Sheriff Mack's constitutional course.
Yep.
I highly recommend it for everybody in the States. And I know there's equivalent for other countries too. But, and I love this story. The first story that Sheriff Mack told when he had his awakening, he was a cop first before he became a sheriff, right?
That's right.
And he said he pulled over a poor woman. She had 5 kids in the car and she ran through a stop sign. And when he was pulled her over for the ticket, he realized, he goes, I'm not enhancing this woman's life by giving her a ticket.
No.
Like, what am I doing? And he said, he just gave her the warning, and he said that made him go back to his constitution. He goes, I want to enhance people's lives, protect their rights. And you know, Charlie, when I was in college, I had so many run-ins with the cops with like speeding tickets and things like that. And I just did not like cops. I felt it that they were, I always felt when somebody's against my freedom, that something's not right, like my gut.
Yeah, sure.
And I remember my roommate and I were in college and she got pulled over. And I said to the cop, how do you sleep at night doing this to people? Because this isn't right. And my roommate's like, can you please shut up? Because I don't want to get arrested right now. But I always felt that. And even the seatbelt laws, I remember when they came in, I knew that wasn't right. I didn't like being told to wear a seatbelt or I get a ticket. And Sheriff Mack says they're not constitutional.
No.
So we need to get back to learning the Constitution.
Sure.
I think that's so important. So I love what you're doing with the Patriot Network. And Robert David Steele is part of it. And Robert David Steele and Sheriff Mack are going to go on a constitutional tour. Yeah. And I wish I could go on it. I think that's just the most amazing thing ever. Because Charlie, if we knew our Constitution and if we had sheriffs and just, you know, we had people doing that, like good sheriffs in every county. And then if people understood good health and how to take care of their life, everything that was happening right now it would be over.
Of course it would. Of course it would.
And so it's time to empower ourselves. Like we need to learn these things.
We're nearly there, but we're having to expose how bad things were getting. And this is why we're doing, this is happening right now, to expose how evil can be. Because if the public were told by either Donald Trump or the White Hats or whoever, this is what the left are trying to do, this is what the deep state are trying to do, this is what big pharma are trying to do, people wouldn't believe it. So it's having to be shown to them to get people to realize, and they're even infiltrating peaceful rallies. They're infiltrating them to cause trouble, to make them look like troublemakers. They're being infiltrated by bad cops and bad people. When people are doing peaceful demonstrations, it's consistent that they're trying to turn them into to riots. And I've said to anybody that's on this journey, stay well clear of it. The minute you see them infiltrating, just simply leave and get out of the way, because they're there to try and make good television for their corrupt channels. I mean, it's sick, but we're so close now that once we've crossed the threshold, they've already lost. It's now down to the pantomime for the public to see, and I'm hoping it's this week. The feelings are it's this week, but let's see.
Oh, I hope. You know, as much as we want, and I want it to come out too, I just want everything to change like that. But I understand the concept that we can't just have someone come in like Trump, or we can't just have someone come in and change it like that, because we're going to be in the same boat. If we don't wake people up that they have to be responsible and to what's really happened over all these years, how we've gone to sleep and let other people control us and manipulate us, it's going to happen again. So there really has to be, I understand the process, even though it's frustrating, but I know it's important.
It's massively important for the people that are still in a coma and fast asleep. For people like you and I, yeah, it's a little frustrating, but I think to myself, do you know what? I know the destination. So the journey, I'm going to enjoy it and make the most of it. Whether it's today or tomorrow or next week, makes no difference. We know that it has to be done by the 25th of March. So there's certain things that are markers out there that has to be done by certain days. The gut feelings are that by the beginning of April, everything will have started, but it will probably take 2.5 years or 3 years for it to start to roll out and people to start to get it. Those who are awake will get it straight away. They'll be on board straight away, but there's those that are asleep won't know. They'll have to start all over. And the worst thing with that is that there'll be anger, there'll be frustration, they'll feel stupid. And I've been through that myself when I was 23, when I came out of the religion. It's known, I call it the fourth dimension, where you don't know what your moral compass is. You don't know what's right, you don't know what's wrong, you don't know who to trust. It's not easy. And there's a lot of people out there who've trusted the Hollywood stars, trusted the mainstream media, trusted the governments, and then they're going to be told that they've lied to them all this time. I had somebody say to me the other day, so you think that you're right and they're wrong, do you? All the mainstream media are wrong. I said, in a nutshell, yes. And they went, oh, for crying out loud, Charlie, you go and see somebody. I mean, get your head seen to. And I went, my head's fine. Nothing wrong with my head. So you think you're right and they're all wrong. I said, I don't think it, I know it. And they're like, oh, I can't believe you've completely lost the plot. And I said, well, that's your opinion. And the extreme left, they can't abide when you question them and when you put out a different perspective. And I'm very clear with my perspective, and I'm very, very calm about it because I know where we're going.
I think it's important too that we have to keep educating people. And I think that's one of the things I love about your Patriot Network, that they're building out a map of all the counties, that where there's constitutional sheriffs. I think all of us need to just understand that if we go county to county and start waking people up that way, I think that's very powerful. So I looked into, Florida has 67 counties, or 67 sheriffs, I believe, and only all of them were elected except one. Where? My area, Miami-Dade County. He's appointed.
Okay.
So you know he's corrupt already, because he should be elected. Because I reached out to him a couple of times, I heard nothing. So I'm like, he doesn't even probably know what the Constitution is. But I like that if we know who to reach out to who is constitutional, to maybe whether I want to move to that area or do I want to get help to try to make my county constitutional. So I think that's going to be a very important work. Even once everything comes out, I think that's still, we're going to have to re-educate ourselves.
Very much so. But you remember one thing, that once you move away from admiralty law, maritime law, admiralty law, back to common constitutional law, it doesn't matter which member of government and representative, mayor, whatever you want to call them, he's lost his job, because his job was under the old system. So it becomes your duty to appoint new people. None of
So
those
that's
people,
going to be part of it too, Charlie. That'll be a big part of it.
that's the biggest part of it. That's taking down the old government.
That's awesome. I love to hear that.
The old government no longer have a job. They're gone. Because when you check, they're all employed under admiralty law. So when
It
we
makes
move
sense
to
me. I guess
constitutional,
because it's been moving slow, I'm thinking we have to start stepping up to give it a little push. But
Oh.
but I hear what you're saying, and that makes sense.
you've got so many very, very good people in Florida, all over there, that are nothing to do with politics, who could represent the people of each state or county in Florida. And you could reduce your number of employees in government by 95%. You probably only need 5% of people to run it. And they'd probably run it 10 times better than it's being run now by all the ridiculous number of government officials that you've got, the amount of red tape, the amount of ridiculous people. You need one person per county, and then you need a team around them of probably only a dozen people to manage everything successfully. But they need to be the right people.
It'll simplify a lot of things. Truth simplifies everything, doesn't it?
Of course it does. Of course it does. Yeah, and that's where we're moving towards, and it's going to be fascinating when the penny drops with the government, that when we move back to constitutional law, they have no place in government. Their government is gone. In fact, they're working illegally now, because the corporation of the United States government has already been declared bankrupt and is insolvent and is in the hands of the receivers. So the government is acting technically illegally anyway, and so is the police force, and so is, well, the military is not, because they're there to protect the people and the Constitution, and they're just paid for by the old government, and they'll have to be re-employed, the military, but they'll have to be retrained as well in the Constitution, to protect the Constitution, because that will be their duty, to protect the people and the Constitution under constitutional law over against under admiralty law.
Yeah, and all the people are going to have to be re-educated on that too. We're going to have to be reoriented about a lot of things, our health, our lifestyle, but we won't be, once this good stuff comes into that rat race lifestyle of debt, not enough money, that's killing us. That's making us sick too. Yeah. That's going to be gone also. So that's going to change. A lot of things will shift.
It will for sure. And for me, it's going to be very, very, very exciting. I've obviously got my my grandson who lives in Boca Raton. I've got some very good friends who live on Fisher Island. I've got another good friend who lives on Star Island. So I know South Beach, and I know Miami very, very, and that part of Florida very well. It's a part that I like a lot.
Yeah, it's time for it to get back to its greatness too.
Exactly. Because it's a beautiful part of the world.
It is. It is. I guess that's why it pains me so much to see what's happening right now, because I knew what it could be like, or what it was like before the coma set in. But
I know.
Come out of it.
I've had many good cocktails at the Tides.
Oh yeah.
South Beach, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, an amazing part of the world. We used to go down to the far end to Smith and Wollaston for a steak.
Love Smith and Wollansky, and it's so beautiful down there, and the food is amazing.
Yeah, and of course my good friends the Penrods have their Nikki Beach down the end there as well. That's right.
Yeah, I love Nikki Beach.
Yeah, Jack Penrod, Mike and Jenny are very good friends of mine.
That's a beautiful place too. I love it there also.
Yeah, they're all good characters. So but we're so close to it now that I'm just waiting on the message to say we're there. The system.
Charlie, it's funny that you said the 25th into the beginning of April, because I watched a short clip that Robert David Steele had on by an astrologer, and she did an astrology on Trump, and she said those exact dates.
Yeah.
too, which I know we're not supposed to get hung up on the dates, but she said something very powerful is happening during that time.
It is.
So that's another confirmation. I like it. This is good.
Between now and the 6th, everything's changing.
Yep.
So I'm just going to sit back and enjoy it and watch what happens and see the reactions, more importantly, which is what I like. I've always liked people's reactions. That millisecond when you say something they least expect has always been sort of my little party trick, just to create that reaction. And that started years ago when Tanya, who I've mentioned before, was staying with me, a friend of mine. She came down the stairs and her first comment was, does this dress make me look fat? I said, no, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the dress. It's your ass that makes you look fat. And it's just that millisecond that she looks at you, just like, I can't believe you just said that. And then she said, I don't even know why I asked you. But we're still very good friends. And I used to tease her. She'd come down and say, no, did she go back up and change? I said, no, that looks absolutely amazing. And then when she got in the car, I say, but I preferred the one you had on first, just to
That's terrible, Charlie.
just for the reaction. She go, don't say that. And yeah, there's those little milliseconds. I've do it with my wife every now and then. Just say something that just creates a reaction, just to get that look. And it makes
hilarious.
it. Yeah, it is. And I've always liked trying to create a reaction in people, to bring out the best in them, to get their brain ticking instead of just drifting through life. Just a little poke, just to see if they're connected or not.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we might be seeing a lot of little pokes hopefully soon, and this might be the best part of the show, of seeing people's reactions soon.
Yeah, it is. We're going to see the reactions, and I'm gonna have to learn humility rather than smacking them around the face and saying, "I told you so."
I know, me too, because I've been a little. I get flustered. I'm just tired. I'm just like, wake up, just stop it. Like, I can't.
I know.
You get what's coming to you. That's how I feel. But I know I'm trying to bring myself into compassion, be there for people. But
well, we're nearly there.
Yeah.
Dr. Lynn Carey, thank you so much.
Thank you, Charlie.
You're a dynamo of energy, and that's what we need right now.
Yes, I want to put my energy into the mix because I'm ready to share the truth.
Brilliant. Great to see you.
You too, Charlie. Thank you so much for having me and for all that you do.
Just so you know, the Quantum Financial System are based in Florida, just up the road from you. And I'm coming over in the next few days, maybe weeks, for a meeting with them. So
if you have any time, I would love to see you.
No
Call me. You're
problem
welcome here anytime, and I'm here for you. So
yeah, definitely. No, we'll be coming over there. I've been told I need to get my backside over there as soon as the switch is flicked. I'll need to be over there.
I'll make sure Tara has my information. I'll email it so you can have it.
Perfect.
All right, Charlie. I love you. Thank you for everything.
Too. Thank you. Cheers.